I have definitely gotten myself in trouble during arguments for stuff like this. When my wife is trying to make a point and she says something, but that's not really what she means.
Yeah.
And then I correct her in the argument. Oh my gosh.
Not the time.
Trent Booth taught me that all of us men have a drop-down menu in our heads in those moments. And you see it and you go, don't click that one. Do not click. And then you click it.
Welcome to The Cover, where three Hoosier friends judge books by their covers and movies by their trailers.
That's right. I'm Brett, here with my fellow Indiana natives, Remington and Marcus, ready to dive into the stories that keep us up all night and occasionally put us to sleep.
Whether you're a bookworm, movie buff, or just here for the witty banter, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll dissect a different book or movie, sharing fun facts, hot takes, and moments that make Marcus cry. Spoiler alert, we're not experts, but we're definitely opinionated.
From literary masterpieces to blockbuster flops, nothing is safe from our snarky reviews and wild tangents. Who knew Hoosiers could be this entertaining?
So grab your popcorn and reading glasses because we're about to embark on a hilarious journey through the pages and screens that shape our lives. Or at least our weekends.
You're listening to The Cover. Let's get the show on the road before one of our kids wakes up.
Well, been wondering what's new,
You've been
boys.
What's new?
What's new?
Saw a movie in theaters this week with the lady.
Man, movies in theaters. What'd you get from the concession stand?
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision? I knew Rem was thinking
What'd you put
it.
in your popcorn?
Bunch of crunch.
Bunch of crunch. Is that a crunch that are tiny crunches?
Mm-hmm. So
Is that what you said you put in yours?
Yep. That's my
bunch
go-to.
of crunch.
And what's the stuff you put in yours?
Raisinets.
Oh yeah.
No.
Bunch of crunch would be way
Bunch
better.
of crunch.
What bunch of crunch? Is this a tiny form of a big candy bar?
Have you ever had the crunch bar?
Yep.
Right?
So it's
old
a bunch
commercials and stuff.
of crunch.
So they take like little clusters of it. Right?
Ooh, big fan of clusters.
So good. So good.
Big fan of clusters.
Anyway, dumped that in the popcorn. Showed up. I had my cover hat on my knee, and I had it perfectly lined up so that when Gladiator 2 came onto the screen, I'd be able to take a sweet picture for social media. Even tested it all throughout the previews. And then when Gladiator 2 came on, I realized the lights got a lot darker when Gladiator 2 was on versus the previews because they're taking him down the whole time, and the pictures that I took didn't work. However, we found out some information.
On the hot takes?
In review,
we found out some information.
I felt strongly there was a good chance that Lucius was the son of who we thought maybe his uncle is his uncle.
No, it's not.
Commodus.
We don't think it's his uncle. It's
We know he's
definitely his uncle.
Well, you think he's his uncle, correct?
But he might
So
also
you're
might have been
saying-
his son.
So you're saying it could be his son and his nephew
All right,
at the same time.
So here's what I can definitely
No,
confirm.
no. Just to be clear, we don't think this. One
No.
of us thinks this.
Correct.
And it was Brett.
Yes, Brett was sure
Positive.
that Lucius was Commodus' son.
Did that play into your poor rating?
No.
If
No.
anything.
No.
If anything.
No. May even have bumped it up a notch.
Jeez.
No. You guys are scared to put out what you're really thinking, and that's okay. That's
No.
all right.
No,
I'm brave.
I'm
I'm the
No.
man in
not,
the arena.
Not scared to think.
I'm the man in the arena.
Are
might
you
be
not entertained?
You might be sitting in the front row, but you're not in the arena. I'm in the arena. Anyway, Marcus.
So because this movie is still in theaters and in fact came out just this weekend, it'll be a couple of weeks in theaters by the time this episode comes out. I will not give it away. However, what I will say is that you do find out who Lucius's father is, because Lucius is the main character in Gladiator 2. So you do find out who his father is. And there are 3 possibilities that are floated in the film.
In the film?
In the film. These
In
are
the
actually
film.
floated in the film.
There
you
are
just
three
are we
possibilities
cool? Are we
that are
cool with them
floated.
saying who the three possibilities are?
I'm fine with
Okay,
it.
well, I think that's fine. There's three possibilities. They float in Gladiator 2. They want you to believe it could be one of these three.
Yeah.
And what are those three possibilities, Marcus?
The first one that comes up is Lucius. Or not Lucius, Commodus. The first one that comes up is Commodus.
Oh, wow.
And I look at Jessica in this moment and I was like, oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, man,
never
I'm
gonna
so
hear the end of
glad
this.
Brett didn't name his price.
Okay, tell the other two, and then I've got something to say about this.
The second was Priscilla, I think is her name. Her husband, right? So,
which is who the movie says is his father. The original
correct.
Gladiator
The
says
original
is his
Gladiator
father.
movie, that's who it is assumed is the father, right? But apparently there was some estrangement there from the very beginning. And then the third option is Maximus.
He dies.
The third option was Maximus.
Yeah.
So those were the three options that are floated. You'll have to see it to find out which one.
Okay. So the argument was there anything about Gladiator 1 that made you think it was potentially Commodus? And the resounding popular vote is that no, there's nothing in the movie that suggests
Disagree.
that. There's nothing in the movie that suggests that. And the second one, if they want to float out a crazy, never been seen before, name one thing about Gladiator 1 that makes you think it could be his father?
Commodus and Priscilla's moments when he jumps on top of her as brother and sister. And it's clearly like it's a weird tension.
It's clearly the first time he's ever done that.
Disagree. That is not the feeling that I got during that at all. No, it was more like a, hey, we fooled around when we were really young kids, and I've never stopped thinking about it. And she's like, clearly I have, but you haven't. That's what it happened. That's what it was.
Oh my god!
So in the
Which
movie,
is why Gladiator 2 floats that clearly, because they're drawing on that.
They clearly suggest it's a potential
Yes.
in the movie.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Like in the dialogue?
I literally looked at Jessica and I was like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Well, I have not seen it, and I predicted in the first one that if there's a potential that...
I don't think you said it with your chest. You didn't say it with your chest.
Maximus?
You didn't say it with your
100%,
chest.
because we were talking about...
Okay, well,
where
we'll have
she...
Nate re-listen.
Are you
episode
trying to
again.
interrupt me so I don't predict
You
this?
didn't say it with your
Are
chest.
you trying to
You
filibuster
didn't
this?
say it with your chest.
We'll listen to it again, but then the scene where they're talking, that last scene where they basically show that they had love between them, that's where I was like, when you told me there was a Gladiator 2, and he's the main character, I was like, okay, there's got to be a potential for Maximus to be his father, because that's just Hollywood.
I think you thought that.
We'll see.
I don't think
we
you
can
said
go back.
it
We
with
can
your,
go back and
again,
chop up.
Chest.
Chop up. Say it with your chest.
Solid flick, a little predictable, worth seeing in theaters. I'll save my rating because I've only seen it once.
A 7 or higher for sure.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably higher than a 7.
Okay,
I would
that's
say.
fair. What's up?
What up?
You delivering
How we
drinks?
doing?
That's exciting.
We got a waitress coming through. Hanging out.
That's fine. You can leave it.
With
you can
a
leave it down
koozie.
here. We might.
Thank you.
That's perfect.
Kelsey
Thank
making
you.
a cameo. She got her
In her gobble gobble,
Gobble
sweatshirt.
You're super cute.
Oh man,
Apparently, once you're knighted, you get servants.
I'm glad that's a children's shirt. I was very
Obviously.
concerned for a second. Kelsey's doing some cleanup in
Come
the
feed
studio.
me grapes.
Welcome to the Cover Podcast. We could say, I guess we've never mentioned this. Always in the humble abode of Sir Remington Ramsey, in
That's
the basement
true.
studio. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that. I'm one of your hosts.
Finally finished. It looks really good.
Oh, dude, looks great. One of your hosts, Brett Wiggins, speaking now. As always, to my left is
Marcus Mangus.
fresh off his Gladiator 2 wisdom, and sitting to my right is Sir
Remington Ramsey.
Remington Ramsey. Oh, I was reading. The preface, I guess you would call it, of Joshua in my study Bible.
Yeah.
Ramses.
Ramsey's name.
Yeah.
Is that the name
Ramsey's
of a,
legs are number one.
is that the name of one of the cities they overtook or groups they overtook or
It's
something?
the name of a pharaoh.
Ramses. Yeah. Well,
Ramses.
multiple pharaohs. Right.
Ramses.
There was the first and the second.
Is that an unfortunate last name for you? Is any connection there?
No, man, those guys were G's.
Oh wow. Okay.
They built an empire.
Pretty big deal. Those Ramses.
They're not all. Never mind.
Have you guys seen Nacho Libre? Ramses.
You know what? I
Very,
haven't, man,
very
but I
long time.
should.
That's a Jack Black classic.
Not in a very long time.
He always speaks in third person. He goes, Ramses' legs are number one.
What are we covering?
We are covering a movie. I don't know if I should read it first and then say what it is. I'm going to read it first and then say what it is. We're going to change it up for this, our 130th episode. It's not. To escape Christmas and their divorced parents with their dysfunctional families, happily unmarried Brad and Kate have been successfully pulling off the same trick for 3 years. A little bit of charity work in a far-off place at the end of the world is always the perfect alibi. However, not this year, and as the young couple is forced to spend Christmas with all 4 of their estranged parents, the ultimate Yuletide disaster is at hand. Can Brad and Kate survive not 1, but 4 Christmases? Came out in 2008, PG-13, 1 hour and 28 minutes, moves fast, 4 Christmases, directed by Seth Gordon.
2008.
Yeah.
Man.
That's when I entered the business world.
Man.
And the economic downpour.
Every single show is tied to another show.
What do you
Every
mean?
show we do is there's threads
Oh, yeah.
through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Through it all.
What did you hear that time?
2008, the crash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big Short.
Oh, there's more. There's
Big
more than
Short.
that. There's a lot
Seth
of threads.
Gordon, that name for no. There's Seth MacFarlane. There's Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Seth Gordon.
You guys probably wouldn't know him, not by his work at least. The last movie, the only movie that I was scrolling through that I actually know is The Lost City, which just came out a couple years ago with Sandra Bullock and
Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah. Daniel Radcliffe. He's the bad guy.
Nice. So I thought that did a pretty good job. Did you actually say the name of it yet?
Yeah, 4 Christmases.
Yeah.
This is my pick. I love this movie. It makes me laugh. It resonates with me. This is my childhood. We traveled to 4 different Christmas settings, families.
This movie is nonstop laughs.
It is.
Nonstop.
It's so funny.
It was great. We watched it.
Was this your first time seeing it?
No, not first time.
This is the first real funny movie we've done.
You could argue Pirates, but that's got so much of a other plot and other sides to it. I'd say it's a true comedy.
Hey, so do you guys know who this guy is? Sorry to interrupt. You know who this is?
I do.
Did you know or did you look it up?
No, I knew. Well,
do you-
I take that back. Jessica.
I
told
know
me.
I've seen him. I know him, but I don't
You
know.
saw him as a child. So this is the airport scene very early on in the movie. That is Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Oh,
The guy-
He's also an
Man.
elf, apparently.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Who's he an elf?
one of the elves.
I don't know.
probably,
That's
one
what
of the
Jessica.
wardrobes.
That's what Jessica told me, and so I'm just
I
gonna
think he
believe her.
is.
My wife
You
told me
need to
that.
tell Jessica to stop telling
the
you things.
He's the manager elf. He's the elf manager, I believe.
Oh yeah, the head of
head
the
elf,
black dude
No.
above the black dude.
No. Actual elves. The actual elves.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right.
He's the one who he
he's at
falls
the
on
North
top
Pole.
of, I think, or
Yes.
one of them. Yes.
Yep.
Dude, Elf would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's lots
maybe.
of great Christmas
Maybe.
movies.
When he starts talking trash about you're gonna put me up in a Radisson.
yeah, that's great.
Oh my gosh, can we go to Sizzler? Which
How about an
apparently
airline that your airline's felt up?
Sizzler is a drive-through fast food situation on the West Coast, I believe.
Sizzler? Oh
Sizzler,
no,
what is
Sizzler.
Sizzler?
I think Sizzler was originally like a Ponderosa, like a steakhouse.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a Golden Corral.
Dude.
Basically, all you can eat tummy aches.
But-
we went to Ponderosa back in the day.
Oh yeah,
So the ice cream machine was off the chain.
yeah.
It was very
Soft
good.
serve. You had to have soft serve.
Yeah.
Grandpa's theory was you could
Absolutely.
eat as much as you want as long as at the end you had a soft serve ice cream to settle your stomach. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
Golden Corral. as
Settle
a-
your stomach.
When my
Yeah.
grandparents would
He was
visit,
300 pounds.
They would
Wow.
RV across the country, and whenever they would visit, we would go to Golden Corral. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And I could go up and get as many steaks as I want. But looking back, it was like the roughest, toughest.
Oh yeah.
Like lots of fat. But it was just so cool to go up and snag some unlimited steak.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. I've heard of Sizzler by 2 people. A guy who I've worked with on the West Coast and this movie. And this movie's in San Francisco, so I figured
Yeah.
Western situation.
San Fran.
So we know what we're covering. What do we know going into it? I knew that Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon were on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. That is all.
I'm sure that's all.
And I
knew
never
too.
took the movie seriously until I married Riley, who obviously is Rem's sister. And I think that this is Remington loves this movie, so Riley knew about this movie, so I watched it. And I was like, wow, why did I waste these years not watching this movie?
You remember when we were?
I'm not sure you watch any movies unless somebody recommends it to you or makes you watch it with them.
Unless there are gangs, cocaine, drugs, or something crazy going on. Yeah. Yep.
So you were with us in Pittsburgh when we were with the Eva Stitches. Were you with us in Nashville? Did you go down Bourbon Street with us?
I did not.
So is it Bourbon Street? That's not right.
No,
that's
Broadway.
Broadway. There's a bar off the beaten path in Broadway where Reese Witherspoon frequents and sits at the end of the bar, and everyone knows just not to mess with her because she doesn't. She wants to be like left alone. And it was like this cigar lounge bar that we were eating with, and so we went there in hopes to see her, but we didn't see her.
Bummer.
Yeah, that's my deflating story.
I will say Broadway is very cool.
It is cool.
If you
It's cool
like
setup.
live music at all, in fact, not if you like live music. If you're open minded to, hey, there's people playing, and I would love to go have a drink. It is every 20 feet.
I've never been to a place that has bars that have 4 or 5 different levels, all with separate bands on those levels as if it's its own separate bar.
So
all
cool.
playing at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
So cool.
Like Tootsie's. It's wild.
And
Mhm.
it's all day.
Yeah.
Not the
Well-
multi levels aren't always open, but like the main row, the main level.
It's a big
is gonna
brunch. It's a big brunch town.
Dude, so cool.
Yeah, the only other thing is like that, I think, is New Orleans. It's kind of like that, but
I've never been to New Orleans as an adult.
I've
Oh,
gone
really?
once.
Well, it's like everything's kind of open air. There's music coming out of all of them. It's very
Jazz,
jazzy
yeah.
and that New Orleans feel. So it's the only other thing that's really comparable, I think, to Nashville. But Nashville's awesome.
Yeah.
You said this came out 2008?
Yeah.
So it would have been before its time, but if it was earlier, Marcus, would this have been a Mangus family tradition? Kathy, John?
This is a
growing
little
up? Would you
racy
guys
for
be-
a Mangus family
Yeah, that
special.
was the point of the question.
Oh, sorry,
but
dude.
thanks for that. It was.
I think that my sister and my dad definitely like this movie.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think this is a Mama Mangus movie.
Okay. All right. I didn't know
Not
there
really
was
like a Kathy Mangus movie, but yeah, definitely
Brian.
dad and sister think it's hilarious
Oh man,
for sure.
I love your dad.
Yeah.
But now I got a little respect.
Yeah, I mean, my
Yeah.
dad's the only reason that I saw movies with cuss words in them when I was a kid, ever.
My mind's being blown.
And he had
right now.
he had a special affinity for Bond, so
Ooh,
you know,
okay.
when I was in like
I feel like a lot of people
8th
would
grade,
make
I got to
like,
see
give
Bond
Bond
movies.
a pass. Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't watch this type of movies, but it's Bond.
even though there's like
Yeah.
quite a bit of sex
Yeah.
in the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Cheese whiz.
Yeah.
Or Duvres, anyone?
Or Duvres, anyone?
Who you
the
trying
girl,
to impress?
the girl that plays his wife. So Vince Vaughn's brother, played by John Favreau.
Who's ripped in this, by the way?
It's Favreau.
Favreau. I get Favreau. You get it. Favreau. His wife plays. I think she's the unsung hero. I would give her like. She does an amazing. He's humping
She's
his
very
arm right
funny.
now. She's so good. She's so good in this movie. Marcus, what'd you know going into it? When's the first time you saw it? All that good stuff.
Yeah, same as you. I mean, I'm sure that I saw it very soon after it came out. I've probably watched it twice a year since. But you know, love Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn plays Vince Vaughn in almost every movie that he's in.
You watch it twice a year?
Probably.
So
Like on TV. It's on TV and I watch it.
like during Christmas season, you watched the movie twice?
Probably.
Okay, so what's on your list? Like every Christmas,
I would guess that I watch this movie twice a year.
every Christmas season, you always, whether by yourself or with family, watch what's on that list of movies. That's every Christmas season.
You act like it's on, like you're watching TV and it comes on. Don't we just stream everything now?
Not me.
No, dude.
You
if I'm on-
still just
if-
watch
If we've got a night,
TBS?
I'll go on YouTube
Yeah,
TV,
sometimes.
and you can go to
Wow.
movies, and it just everything that's on pops up, or go to live, and
Well, to your point, did you say this on the show about YouTube TV?
you can search anything.
Search anything
and
and
it'll
it just.
so we search
free.
I
this on
guess what
YouTube
it'll
TV.
be is like I'm watching basketball or something.
Sorry, back to Marcus.
I'm
real
watching
quick.
basketball. Oh, I'm trying to think of how to describe what I do. Cause I'll be like watching basketball.
Then the
and
game's over, and
Or
then it
it's like a commercial or something, and so I want to find something to watch during the commercials because I certainly don't want to watch commercials. And if this is also on, then I would watch this.
Yeah, YouTube TV, you can search for any movie, and I have yet to come across one that doesn't pop up. It'll pop up and basically play with whatever network probably owns the TV rights to it with commercials.
Yeah.
So this is on TBS On Demand, apparently. I didn't even know that was a thing.
This is right now for Christmas.
But if you go on YouTube TV, you search for it, it plays it with commercials maybe every...
All right, so you were asking what's on our list that we have to watch every Christmas, or that we just end up doing it?
Yeah, you end up watching it during the Christmas season. What's on that list?
There's probably 3 that our family always watches. Grinch, Elf, and the Santa Claus, the original with Tim Allen.
Oh, yeah.
That dates all the way back to my childhood. That was like my favorite Christmas movie.
So you're saying like your family,
our family, our immediate family, small family, the little kids.
So is that what's the total list though, including like you would say, I don't know, 5 out of the last 7 Christmas seasons you've watched?
Oh no doubt. And then also Christmas Story is in there.
Most overrated.
I think it's underrated.
Christmas Story?
Yeah.
I think it's overrated.
I think it's awesome. And I think it's that style of movie is lost in this generation, and it's awesome. Christmas Vacation is up there and then the adults, I like Christmas Vacation is up there.
Riley and I probably have a list of 15 movies we watch every
Christmas. Yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to dominate the show.
Yeah.
So
like, well, I wondered if
White Christmas is on mine. White Christmas is on mine.
Is amazing.
Oh, okay. I just figured out the top of my overrated list. White Christmas is straight trash.
Oh,
it is
my
so
gosh.
boring.
I love White Christmas.
You're
But
crazy.
I love
It's
Christmas Story
so
too.
boring.
I feel like Christmas Story actually has so many like subsections of the movie, like individual scenes that are very epic.
Which one? Christmas Story?
Christmas Story,
Yes.
yeah. Very
memorable moments.
Yes.
Ralphie or
yeah, I mean, I'll give you that, and it's cultural and everything else, but I just think it's overrated.
we do that eating the potatoes. Piper does that on a regular basis, and she does that little laugh too. Is it Randy? It's so funny.
I'll make sure I watch It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, you know what else we started to watch last night but didn't finish when this was over was The Holiday.
Oh,
That is an underrated movie, I think.
That's so
I
funny
really
you
like
say
that
that.
movie.
I just sent you guys the list of top 9s.
Yeah.
One of the categories is most overrated movies. I only have one in there right now.
Holiday.
It's The Holiday.
You think it's overrated?
I do.
No.
I think it's awful.
Oh, man.
Oh, I can't stand
What
it.
is wrong with you? You like The Christmas Story and not The Holiday.
I do like The Christmas Story.
I actually think The Holiday
I'm
is
a very
better than
nostalgic
Four
person.
Christmases as a movie.
The Holiday?
Yeah, I think it's better than Four Christmases as a movie.
Well, I don't know if you can compare the two. One's
I mean, I'm
laughs
just
and-
saying if you're just going to say as a movie.
You brought up Christmas Vacation earlier.
Yeah.
I think that goes higher and higher on my list every
Same.
year.
Same.
It gets. I like it more and more and more every
Yep.
single year.
Chevy Chase, especially, I think is so much more funny. Like, I don't think I
also think
got
we're
it
just
as a
hitting
kid.
the right age, right?
Yeah, I think as a kid, like,
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why everyone thought it was funny.
You're
and-
right.
But the older I get,
What's this is embarrassing. What's the uncle's name
on what?
on Christmas Vacation? Uncle Eddie.
Oh,
Dude.
it's Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Him eating. It makes me cringe. Him eating the Jello with the cat food in it makes me cringe every
You serious,
time.
Clark?
Okay. Rem, you remember the first time you saw it? What you knew going into it?
Four Christmases? I don't. I've seen it so many times. It literally is at the top of my list. Vince Vaughn is at an all-time high. So I'm gonna spray a ton of fun facts at you. You mentioned Reese and Vince Vaughn are on the cover. They hated each other throughout this entire
no
filming.
way.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like the first note I had, because I go through all the fun facts while I'm watching, especially if I know the movie well. And I wrote down, does the fact that everyone knows they hate it affect the film's success? Because there was leaking. There was people were leaking
During
the fact
filming?
during filming. Because essentially what the qualm was, Reese is a very by the book. I show up on time.
professional.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Vince would show up apparently, from partying the night before. He's like, I want to do 5 takes and try different things each time, ad-libbing, and that's just not her jam. And so this movie did not do well. I mean, it's a short movie. It's like basically an hour and 20 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, it's quick.
And I just wonder that. I wonder if that's leaking the whole time that the actors didn't like each other, if people stay away from it because they just assume it's going to be a bad movie.
I think it definitely depends on the movie. Now, at the time it was made, though, is this Vince's peak? Is this his, like...
I would say so. 2008.
So you would say he's the one carrying the movie? His fans are the ones showing up?
I think without Vince, I wouldn't think it's that great of a movie. Without Reese, it probably would have been about the same.
Sure. Yeah. But, I mean, you're paying, as the production company, whoever, you're paying Reese for the name to get the draw.
Yeah, I don't know what each one would pay. It was probably pretty comparable. They're both in the height of their success. Yeah. And she's great in it, don't get me wrong.
You know what she's great in? Morning Show.
I was going to say the Morning Show.
She's great. Have you seen Morning Show, Marcus?
She is really good in that.
No, it's Apple TV,
That's
right?
worth a pay for Apple TV for a month to see it.
This movie...
There's a bunch of stuff on Apple TV that I know I should probably watch, but...
We canceled it a while ago.
I just can't.
You guys are
so many
never going to
subscriptions.
guess who's at the top of the list to have almost played Kate, by the way. Completely different direction this would have been. Melissa McCarthy.
Oh.
This would have been a completely different movie.
I mean, that would have been her height, too. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that might have been great.
You think so?
Yeah, Reese does a good job,
Yeah.
but based on what they wanted
They
to
wanted
turn
it
into,
straight. They wanted to play it straight
Yeah.
on her side.
Oh, man. Yeah, Melissa's great.
Okay, so here you were talking about common threads earlier. So Dallas, played by Tim McGraw. There's two award-winning singers on the show. Tim McGraw being one of them. Pastor being the other one.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Tim,
I'll look it up.
Pastor Tim.
Yeah. So
I want to give more of myself to the church and to Pastor Tim.
Pastor. It's not
Is
Tim.
it Tim? It's not Paul.
Tim.
Pastor Paul.
No.
No?
Oh gosh, now we got to look it
Isn't
up.
it Pastor Tim?
No, look it up.
Nate's on it.
All right. So anyway, Dallas was almost casted. It was almost a black actor who was casted. Who do you think it was? This is
Will Smith.
This is gonna blow your mind. No, Will Smith was almost considered for Brad though. Or I'm sorry, he was considered for Brad.
That I could see that.
So this is what's unclear.
Pastor Phil, by the way.
Pastor Phil, yes. So what's unclear about the fact that he was maybe if it was Will, this would have been more of a black family, and that's why Dallas was almost cast as this. But it's also a director.
Who was the director?
This guy who was almost casted as Dallas, Jordan Peele.
No.
Yeah. So it was almost Will Smith and Jordan Peele. Can you imagine how different of a movie that would have been?
And wait, who's Dallas and who's Denver? Dallas is
Tim McGraw.
Okay.
Denver is John Farva. as you said.
I messed
Those
you up
kids were
forever.
conceived in a lot of different cities, by the way.
Favreau. Yeah, John Favreau. He's had a career, man.
John Favreau is phenomenal.
He's in so many movies, and his success, the most of his, at least his money, came from producing and directing.
Yeah.
Do you think he looked at the script for this character and was like, "This is going to be so much fun"?
I do, and this is what I was going to say
he
originally.
did this in Couples Retreat.
He's been in 5 or 6 movies with Vince Vaughn. Like they're
Really?
very close. Yeah.
Oh wait, is he
the breakup?
They're both in Rudy.
Rudy? Yeah, he's in Rudy.
I forgot
Rudy's
Vince Vaughn is
like
in
best-
Rudy.
They're both in Rudy.
Well,
yeah.
well, John is Rudy's like best friend, right?
He's
Yeah.
D-Bob.
Wow, he looks massive in Rudy.
Well,
he's playing this alongside Sean Astin,
Interesting. Okay.
who's
Yeah.
very small. He's
She says-
Samwise Gamgee.
She says I can't say GD no more.
Quoting Rudy.
He shows up. Maybe I should pick Rudy someday. It'll get there. 30 seconds.
we got years. We got years.
We do. Dude, hey, we're on episode 28. What are we at in the top 1% of 1% now?
I don't know. I looked up on listen notes to see what we're ranked, and we're not in there.
Okay.
Well, we are
So
the number. Wait. We may. It might be self-proclaimed, but I think you said the other day.
I told you we're the number one podcast about books and movies amongst millennials in Central Indiana.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
If you said
Love it.
I have the most popular restaurant in Central Indiana amongst millennials, you would say that's a really good restaurant.
Yeah.
Then
Love it.
yeah,
yeah, a
great.
lot of people love it. Tons. 30 seconds.
9% Germans.
Synopsis.
I'm sorry, it dropped to 7%. They started getting mad.
Well, no.
Well, no, it's
that's
because
good
we got
because
more
we're raising.
listeners
We got more
here.
listeners.
Oh, yeah,
Small,
that's
bigger
true.
sample size.
We've
Pick
got
it
a
up,
strong
Germany. Start
German
sharing it up,
contingent.
Germany.
Germany. 30-second synopsis. Marcus, I saw you counting earlier. I feel as if you're ready.
Sure.
Are you?
I think
Okay.
so.
Let's rock and
That
roll.
was a long time ago.
Well, nine words for Marcus. 4 Christmases.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Is this happening right now?
Selfish couple has plans ruined and learns unexpected lessons.
Man.
Unexpected.
That's where I do the syllables. And that's why I think he's off.
Unexpected.
Oh, Marcus,
You gotta use some big
the
words in
fact
there.
that you haven't gotten caught up or had an incomplete sentence yet is very impressive.
Marcus,
man.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't say I was
Is
proud
that
of
a
him.
W period for when?
Hmm?
Why is there a period behind the W on your hat?
Listen, I'm not a huge fan of the W period, but some marketing company.
There's a point
Is
in
it for
time
Wabash?
It's for
Is
Wabash.
it like OHIO? Is it like the
It is,
Ohio
it is
State?
the Wabash. This is the Wabash logo.
I
and it
feel
has
as though there was a
period on it.
point in time where putting a period after things or words got really popular.
Mm.
That's a thing for sure.
Well, it's what Wabash does for now. It's this generation of W.
By the way, I don't know if I've talked to you about it.
Let's not.
Okay. All right. How many years
The
in a row?
Jake Gilbert era has begun.
I'm watching the movie
Yeah,
in the
officially,
background.
he's
3.
coaching the bowl game, right? Did he
3.
coach the bowl game this weekend?
Yeah, you did.
Did they win?
No.
This
All right.
is where he's trying to fix the satellite dish.
Oh my
And he's
gosh.
like messing with it. And John Favreau goes, "Pull up on it," and he pulls up and he flies off
Yeah.
the house. And it's like 10,
And they just
10
sit
seconds. 10 seconds of him falling off the house, and then he's hanging there. And Favreau goes, "Too much."
Dude, they're just sitting there with their beers. So funny.
Have you ever gotten oh, she hits the baby in the head with the
Give me
thing
Yes.
my
too?
baby.
Have you guys ever bought someone, maybe someone older, a gift trying to do something nice that you think is awesome and they just don't
Don't get it.
get it? They
Yeah.
just don't. They won't conform. They won't upgrade.
I don't know about someone older, but I've definitely gotten gifts that I was more excited than the person receiving it. I've also gotten gifts that I ended up using more than the person receiving it.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
All right, your 30-second slam poetry. Here we go. Couple in their late 30s, too cool to get married. Life is smooth. They've conquered it. San Francisco has fog. Local news flash turns into family Christmas bash. Your real name is Orlando? Where he was conceived. Mistletoe. Kate's mom is always the mom. Bounce house from hell. Brad is Joseph. Father, forgive her, for she does not know the swaddling cloth. Can I get your gas money? Flip the tube.
Flip the tube.
Yes.
Yes, baby.
Kate wants a baby. Brad says, get away from me. In the end, we welcome their New Year's little lady.
Oh,
Was
it's
not
a
confirmed
girl?
to be a boy or a girl, by the way. I just needed.
I was like, that's a fun fact. I did not know.
I don't
need-
think
I
we
need
need to actually
That
talk
was
about
full
the
of
movie
quotes.
anymore. I don't think we need to talk about
So
the
when
movie.
you did the fog thing, is that supposed to be Matthew Kelly?
Yes. Why don't you fly to San Francisco? San Francisco has
Fog.
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 Well, that's ridiculous. We will miss your business.
Yeah.
We will miss your business.
That's a story about Southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest
Strategic
decided-
anchors.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't be late, and in San Francisco there's fog, and it would make us be late.
You'd think they would be up against that before in the past with how foggy it is in San Francisco, that they would have not been able, although they probably have been delayed before but not been on the news, which is like, there's a lot in movies that are corny like this. There's a lot of movie magic, weird things that happen. Like the news people would not go up to the people at the front desk checking in. That would not be allowed and interrupt them.
This was
And if they did
2008,
that,
man. This was 2008.
if they did do that, everyone behind them would be screaming like, "Get out of the way!" Like, when's the last time you've been to the airport? You're on a mission until you get
Yep.
to your gate.
Yep. We were at my voting location. there was a news team there just straight chilling, and I was like,
I thought news teams just followed you around.
I was
That's
like,
right.
do
The
not come up
tailgating
to
of
me.
the year.
Do not. come
And ask
to
who
me.
you're voting for.
What'd you vote for,
Just-
Brett?
I don't want to. Then you ask me why, and I don't know. There's no
way
easy-
that's what they were asking people.
No. They were literally just the girl was there ready to interview people, but they were literally. I saw it on the news later. It was just footage of our voting location because
it's B-roll.
It was B-roll, and it was because it was one of the longest waits. I would 2.5 hours.
You waited 2.5 hours on game day. Did
On
you
game
vote
day.
on game day?
On game day. Yeah.
Yeah, ours was like 20 minutes.
So the issue, the whole news story was about, the issue is they can't find enough places willing to let people use it to vote.
Well, they need to shut down schools and let
So
schools.
that's what they
It
do in
just
a
needs
lot
to
of
be a
areas.
national. It just needs to be a
national holiday.
National holiday, yeah.
That makes more sense anyway.
Well, no, don't they use schools with the schools open and everything too?
No,
Not with
absolutely
schools open.
not. They
That's
use
a security
churches
issue.
a
So
lot.
there are areas of the country that they use schools though. I've seen Trump
if schools are
vote
closed,
at a school.
if the schools
school
are closed,
gymnasium.
but they
Okay.
can't do it while school's in session.
Yeah, it should just be a national holiday. No doubt about it.
Agreed. That makes a lot of sense actually.
It's so stupid that it's not.
I think our friend Tyler would like that idea. All right. Well, we're moving to what made you stop and think. Our next question. Did that just click?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, with comedies, this question is going to be more like what made you laugh, but this I think the reason why this is like my jam is because we had divorce in our family, right? That's what this whole thing is about. You've got two parents that divorces, and that's a big thing. That's a big reason why they don't want to get married.
Correct.
They
Correct.
don't want to have families because they've both come from broken families. And so one of the things that happen if your grandparents are the ones divorced, not your parents, is that you're still trying to please everyone as adults. My parents in this case are trying to please them by bringing us to every single Christmas. And so Christmas Eve, we'd wake up and have our own Christmas. That was Ramsey immediate family Christmas. That night, we would go to my mom's side, the Rawson Christmas. And then the next morning, we would go to my dad's dad and then end with my dad's mom, which is a lot of driving. Gaston, Portland, Muncie. And every scenario was very similar to this, where you have some crazy characters at every single house where it's just like around the holidays, you're trying to... one of the notes said the director was trying to show that the holidays are so hard because you're trying to grow as a person, but where you've grown, what you've left behind is at the holidays. It's
Right.
the people that you're spending
Right.
time with, and to be nice to them, you can't leave them behind, kind of thing. It was a really interesting take, but I totally understand what he's trying to say.
Well, no, it's because when you're doing that, you're supposed to team up with people who you share a common future with.
Right.
And you're being forced in these situations with people where you have a common past with.
Yep.
But you still have a future with them. It's not like you're picking it either. So you grew up with this. I grew up with this. Yeah. Both of my grandparents were divorced.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad were divorced. It never caused me. Sorry, Chinowith got me distracted. It never occurred to me to not get married and have a family. It never struck me.
Oh, really?
No, never. And I don't know if it's because I just threw up. I didn't throw up.
I'm going to do it too.
It never. And maybe it's because I was so young, so I don't remember any of them getting divorced, even my parents. That was just always how it was. Maybe if I was
So
older,
why were you encouraged? Who was the picture of marriage that made you think, I want that?
Didn't.
You didn't need it. You just wanted to be married?
I just wasn't against it.
Oh.
I wasn't. Yeah. And I think I always envisioned myself being married. But I don't know. I'm wondering if that's something we just think is a thing, or if it's actually a thing, or maybe if it's as bad as these situations, it really would be the thing. Not sure. All right. What
I did write down, so I don't really, I can't really relate at all, but I did write down that I've definitely, once Jessica and I got married, she's got family that's in Crawfordsville. I've got family that's in Bremen. And then we were still doing stuff like with my grandparents and things like that.
For
And
our
so-
German listeners, how far is that away from here?
Bremen?
Bremen's like 3 hours.
Bremen, Germany, or Bremen, Indiana?
Indiana.
Bremen's
Ah.
215.
So our German listeners, my my roots would be Bremen, Germany. But
Are you
Bremen-
German?
But oh yeah, I'm very.
That's
German.
why we have such high German
that's what I'm saying.
listenership.
Yeah.
I'm like 7% German.
Oh,
Are
I'm
you
very
marked
very German?
on your platforms as German? Because you could be the German audience.
Mongus. Is that how they say it? They get really mad when they say it. Mongus.
I'll check.
I'm gonna start calling you Marcus.
You're just saying
Mongus.
everything like 9.
Mongus.
Um,
Mongus. That's how he says it when he gets mad. Marcus Mangus. You ever play any games? If you ever play sports with Marcus and he does something he does not like, that's what he does. He
yells
goes,
at himself.
Marcus Mangus.
He yells at himself for sure. Anyway, we just nixed the whole going to 2 places in one day thing.
Yep.
Like if people wanted to do the same, if 2 different families wanted to have something on the same day, we just picked one.
Yeah.
And we said that's what we're going to do because I love the holidays. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. I love hanging out with our families. And I want to spend the time doing that. And I want to be present. And when you're just constantly thinking about the time and how to get from one place to the next or whatever, it just disrupts all of that. It makes it less
tough.
fun.
I definitely, the older I get, understand why people just decide, hey, that was fun for while we had it. We're going to do our own thing now. It's tough too because we host Thanksgiving. And we would love for that to be like 60, 70 people. We want all the extended family. It just doesn't happen. I mean, it's just our family. Our family
Totally.
is now,
It's
my
unique.
parents are the grandparents, the patriarchs.
Yeah.
And it's growing down.
Yep.
It's unique. I think it's a special situation where you're a part of the generation with the most families and kids local like that.
Right.
So it's probably actually going to be our kids' generation, since that's going to be a
gonna
big crew.
Crazy.
Yeah, big crew. So for us, I will never forget when we decided Christmas Day is our family's day, and that was a game changer. And we definitely waited until we had justification of being like, to scoop up 3 kids in the car for the day. It's a lot. Like we could have done it earlier, but what we do instead, my aunt and uncle, awesome. They come the weekend before Christmas every year and stay like Friday through Sunday. So it's like, hey, instead of one day, let's get 3 days, but it's not Christmas. And I feel like everybody feels like it's a win-win. So
We still love doing doing Christmas with my parents, and they love having us over. So we wake up in the morning and have Christmas morning and stuff at our house, and then drive a couple hours north, and then we stay for like 3 or 4 days.
yeah.
Christmas vacation style where everybody's packed in, and it's a lot of fun. So that's the way that we do that. And then with Jessica's family, it just kind of depends on everybody's schedules, but we pick a weekend that's somewhere around Christmas.
Have you guys ever been to a family setting or reunion or something where you're like, I wish I was not here?
Totally.
What was the key happening, or was it a person you couldn't get away from? Like I've been at one where like you don't have anything in common with anybody but except for this one guy, and you've ran out of the like 5 stories that you can share with that guy. And that's what's funny is we're all in sales, we're all business owners. Like we should be able to have conversations and have commonality with pretty much anyone. I've been in scenarios where I'm like, I have literally nothing in common. There's no break.
Yeah, but think of the situations you're in business. You're choosing to go to that situation, so you have a game plan going into it of here's my objective.
Yeah.
At these, you're like showing up out of obligation.
Respect,
Respect, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the difference. I can't remember, but also like my dad's side, there are dozens of people on that side of the family I've never met.
Yeah.
In my entire life. I think I went to I did. I went to a wedding for one of my uncles and saw people I've never met before in my entire life. That was definitely it.
So you wanted to leave?
So it was an interesting situation. I was actually in the wedding. But it was
I wanted to leave.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, but I've got one. Uncle Pat has always.
Wait, you were in my wedding?
Yeah, that was a great wedding.
Okay, good.
I met my wife there.
I was just checking.
I met my wife there.
I did. Walked down the aisle with her. Who'd have thought?
Oh,
And caught the.
You guys remember
Carter?
when we
I
played?
caught the Carter at your wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who threw at me?
Yes.
Oh.
Probably.
It was a long night. So the night before was a long night too. Remember when we played poker with Cheez-Its?
Oh,
It was Cheez-Its.
It was Cheez-Its.
I need an apple
Trevor had
and
his
a Gatorade.
Trevor had his bike in your hotel room because he's like leaving for California the next day.
They came into a war zone the next day. Cheez-Its were everywhere. my dad was doing the wedding, so we didn't know any of this was happening, like weren't really paying attention. Fly to the wedding to set it up, and my dad walks in. We're about to go out on stage and get married in 5 minutes, and Dad said, I just got off the phone with the hotel, something about Cheez-Its and a bike and there's some sort of war zone in one of your rooms. I was like, don't worry about it.
As we're all quoting, remember the Titans?
Oh man, good night. Good night. So I do remember the second time watching this movie,
Yeah.
the opening scene you started talking about, where they are role playing basically, but you don't know they're role playing.
Yeah.
I forgot they were role playing.
You're like, this is a different movie.
and I was like, "Is this how they meet? This is how they meet."
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where you're like, is this kind of the feel of the movie? This is not what I've pictured in
It's
the
almost
trailers.
remember Team America?
Oh, yeah.
The beginning, and you're like, is this the movie? Where it's like,
I don't remember the beginning.
so the puppets are using puppets.
Oh, yeah.
But you knew it was a puppet movie, so
Yeah.
you're like, what
this
did I
is gonna be
get
long. This is gonna be
into?
long. America.
All right, I'll give you one here.
Yeah.
I said it at the beginning, but I just said, I hit on it. I said this selfish couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say each of them individually is selfish, but they're also kind of selfish as a couple. So they go through this time when they're doing all these fun activities like dancing, and they're sitting there like drinking wine and playing backgammon and crap like that. And Jessica just looks at me and she says, I wrote a few Jessica quotes down for this one.
Nice.
She just says, "No offense, babe, but I couldn't spend that much time with just you."
So we're at church. They're sharing this story with me. The backgammon situation specifically, she's eating pasta, like they picked up something on the way home.
Oh, that's what
And
it is.
they're like, "Oh, I should check in after this." She's like, "I already did." And then they're like,
Yeah.
we should probably schedule massages. I already did. And I had this moment where I felt this emptiness for them.
Yes, 100%.
And I don't want to sound like I'm on like my high horse, or like there's obviously people who are
Emptiness?
I felt like
Yeah.
they're missing out. They don't know
Totally.
the real joys of life. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
And I don't want
No,
to
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Though. For them, you are right. If they have 3 kids that are down to bed and they're doing all those things,
Oh, for sure.
that
totally
sounds
different.
pretty freaking
That,
awesome.
I agree 100% with that, by
Yeah.
the way. That stuff, like those times are special specifically because there's everything going on all the time. It's just, for lack
If
of a
that's
better
the
word,
recharge,
chaos.
if that's the recharge to get to the great times, awesome. If those are the great times, I
If
think
that's all
the-
you've
that's
got,
the difference.
if that's all you have,
Yeah.
is just sitting around and essentially just being like selfish, right?
And the way he described marriage of being like, and I guess if you ever do read back the notes on what's said at a marriage ceremony, it's intense. It's meant to be intense, but it's like, yeah, it's intense.
You're talking about that scene where they're dancing too,
Yes.
and what I wrote this down about how forward people are about no one would be that forward and say, why wouldn't you just get married? Like no one would say that.
I say that kind of stuff actually.
Okay, in that setting, in that scenario, where it's people that have no idea who you are, like
And your
they
name
have
isn't
no
Marcus.
they have no
Yeah.
incentive. And so the reason why the movie uses that scene, by the way, is for the 2 characters to lay the foundation on how they feel about family. I just wrote down the note in terms of like this is a cheap popcorn movie and it's for laughs, and we know that. But when it comes to like actual movies, like the movies that we do on this podcast that we think are great, the ability for a director or the lines in the movie to get you to unveil those same things by using smart dialogue is like a really good thing.
There's
Like-
definitely an undercurrent here, right?
Yeah.
And then they're using whatever situation they can.
Right. So instead of like forcing a conversation that probably wouldn't happen, they find ways to like uniquely develop how someone thinks without using a narrator. I just thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like the better the movie is, the more hidden.
Yeah.
Those
Well, we talked
lines
about it
are.
last time. That's definitely probably a directing school work. How do you work in this thing?
How do you work it in?
And I love it because the more we're doing this, the more I'm like watching it and going, oh, that's what's happening behind the scenes. That's why. And I didn't even think about that scene, but that makes sense.
And then what's great is like if you know what's happening but you don't care. Like for this movie, it was rated, if you go on IMDb, it's like 5.6 out of 10, which is not great. Like I don't know what's on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll look it up, but it's probably rotten. But I love it. Right, so depending on like the amount of people that are okay with them being bamboozled, it's like The Greatest Showman. And they're talking to the critic.
Oh, sure.
For P.T. Barnum is like
no, this is a show.
Yeah, they know they're paying you to be bamboozled, and they love it.
Would you say this movie has gained popularity as time goes on?
I mean, I think it's brilliant to do a Christmas movie, period, because for 60 days out of the year, people are looking for reasons to watch Christmas movies.
That's true.
Do I know about this movie if it's not for you?
From me?
Yeah. Like,
I'm sure.
Is this a movie that
If
pops
you pull
up?
up Christmas movies, it's on the list.
Yeah, I'm shocked. It's I guess the box office, was it a box office flop?
I'll find out
Was
for
it
you.
that bad? If so, I guess the rating makes sense. But man, I laughed the entire time.
I laughed the entire time.
I really
too.
do. I
Very,
laughed
very
the entire
funny.
time. Side note, I can't handle Kevin from The Office not being an idiot.
Well, he's not an idiot in the first season of The Office. His character progressively gets more on the spectrum.
Man, that's crazy. So he does have a moment where I think he breaks and forgets he's not in the office. There's one like scene of him reacting to something where he does a Kevin face.
Oh my gosh, guess. What do you think it was on the tomato meter?
So tomato meter is
Rotten Tomatoes.
is one
If it's
0 to
60
100%.
This
right?
it's
is
60
people's ratings, right?
No, it's Rotten Tomatoes ratings.
Oh,
so
this-
if it's 60%,
So this is the critic one.
well, there's a
Not the
critic
popcorn one?
right, not the popcorn one, the
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes critics.
Okay.
Oh, it's bad.
Is-
34.
What do you think, Brett?
42.
60% or more is a fresh tomato.
Mm-hmm.
This was a 25.
Wow.
It's a 25, and I love this movie.
There's plenty of movies the critics don't like that I enjoy.
But the popcorn meter was 47%.
Ooh,
Wow.
There's
That's rough.
all the parents, by the way, are Oscar winners. All 4 parents are Oscar winners in this movie.
yeah.
Well, Kate's mom is always the mom.
Robert Duvall. I mean, the actors they got for this.
Yeah.
And
Kate's-
that's probably, so that's the thing. If you get big name actors, and everything's supposed to be awesome, and then you find out there's things on the set, they hate each other, then all of a sudden there's this expectation, and you go into it thinking you're going to hate it, so you hate it.
I think that's the key. It's about expectations. It's like, what do you expect? You know. So for me, I would agree that just like critically, this movie isn't phenomenal. However, I watch this movie and just laugh.
Yeah.
Right. I laugh
Exactly.
all the time, and that's worth it to me to watch the movie.
Kate's dad, who has
John Voight.
He's phenomenal in some stuff. I just
lot of
can't
stuff.
remember
Yeah.
what stuff it is.
And he's
but
old, so he's
Angelina
been in a
Jolie's
He's
lot of...
very
right?
old in this
Yeah,
movie.
it's Angelina Jolie's
He's
dad.
so old, his hair is like messed up, and they were just like, just roll with it. I couldn't stop looking at it. He had like
He's
one
been in
strand.
stuff since he was like 20.
He's in Mission Impossible 1. He's really good in
Yeah.
that.
That's might be what I'm thinking of. Is he his like?
And by the way,
He's
that's
in-
not where...
Isn't
I mean,
he in
he's,
Deliverance?
he's won a lot of awards over the years.
Pretty sure he's in Deliverance.
Is he Tom Cruise's like butler style guy, like his
No,
helper?
no, he's the mentor. He's the
mentor.
head
That's what I'm
of-
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Butler
you said
style?
Butler.
Well, you like when you think Batman. What's
He's the bad guy in the first.
Oh,
in the
you're
first
just saying
Mission Impossible.
Alfred is his mentor.
yes, like
but he is the head of the
Got it.
MI6.
Okay, so when I said butler, that was not a good. Not
He's
a,
Jeeves. He's Jeeves. He's Ask Jeeves.
He's also the antagonist.
Jeeves. He's absolutely Jeeves.
Don't use big words on this podcast. You're alienating the Germans.
Do you know?
Odious.
You were describing this earlier. You know who Kate and Brad are? They are the neighbors in Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They are literally
Elaine.
the neighbors. Yeah, they are the neighbors in Christmas Vacation. That's exactly.
He
Did you
was in
say that they're
Deliverance.
Scrooge.
1972. He was in Deliverance.
Yes, I was right. Can you
nicely
say that
done.
they're Scrooge?
Can Can you breathe louder into the mic, please?
I wanted them to hear my thinking. I don't know. I mean, lying, not just not doing it, lying about inoculating babies in Burma. That's pretty
He's been in
intense.
a lot of movies.
I love
Guys,
when John Voight
well,
calls him
no.
out.
he's won 30 awards, Oscar winners for Best Actor in the Leading Role.
He's really, really
He's
good,
in
guys.
a lot of.
They give amazing gifts, though. So I don't know if you can call him Scrooge. They give amazing gifts.
Yeah, but that's
like a
because they've
PlayStation?
got just
Dude,
they make
Xbox,
more
number
money than-
one. Number two,
A flashlight.
settle.
Where did you find an Xbox for under $10? Let's just keep it rolling here. Let's keep the magic flowing. Here, I'm sure your dad got you something.
So
And then he's like, I wonder what I got from Santa. Pretty sure that rang in under $10 too.
my ex-wife, her mom, there's people in her family that are hoarders, and their basement is filled with stuff from 40 years.
Wow.
And so my brother-in-law and I went down there and said, here's the game. You got to find something and sell it first on Craigslist without anyone finding out.
That's awesome.
So we went down in there, and you would not believe what we found. I mean, N60, like PlayStation original games for Nintendo, like just crazy stuff, and then also like dolls with
What
missing
dollar amount?
legs.
If you really did the work, if you really went to work selling stuff on eBay, Craigslist, what dollar amount do you think was in that basement?
in the basement,
Yeah.
oh, dude, I don't know what things are worth, but I just know the amount of junk. Like the entire family agrees it'd be easier to burn the house down than to try to sell it on auction.
You don't over under 100 grand.
Over. Wow. Just from the amount of stuff.
It's just
Like
you can
just
bundle
like,
it.
Yeah, like here's 10 different, fork sets. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, let's talk
Sounds
about
kind of
family.
fun, doesn't it? Like Storage Wars.
Let's
Yes.
talk about family games. Do you guys' families play games when
Yeah,
you get
we
together?
love games. Headbands is our
Dude,
game.
the family game when they're buzzing people.
Oh,
Do your
Can't
guys'
say that.
family games ever get out of control like that?
yeah, that's my mom. That whole scene is my mom. That's why can't say shush. Mom. You can't say shish. You can't say shish, and I can say it. And she just buzz.
I'm not the one with the card. That's why you can't. We would play 31.
What's 31?
31 is card game. You're playing by yourself. You would need to be same suited to 31. You can knock before you get to 31 if you think you have a higher thing than everybody else. You got three. You could do quarters or whatever dollars, and then you have your honor. And yeah, 31's our
Interesting.
game of choice.
Never
yeah.
played that.
Never
one.
got super heated until we would play with the grown-ups and win, and then they want to get angry. and
Yeah, I would
upset.
say games have always been a big part of our holiday season. for
I
sure.
want games to be a very big part. Actually, I saw a video of Rem playing headbands with the girls, and I was like, dude, what a
It's a great game.
there's no age. Like, you can be any age and
Yeah,
play
headbands
headbands.
is a lot of
It's
fun.
so
You just have to
fun.
once the kids can really start to read is when they turn the corner with games.
And even if they can't read it, and you team up with like your 3-year-old
that's right.
and play on their
That's
team.
right.
Yep.
But like we were having so much fun with that. It was like the 5 of us, and Remy was already asleep, and then it was bath time before bedtime, and they started going one at a time, and then Kelsey's doing the dishes. Before I knew it, it was just me playing against my 5-year-old. Back and forth headbands.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And she was
Yeah.
asking some really great questions. It helped me
Yeah.
see how her mind thinks.
Yeah.
We like playing. I like apples to apples now. So like my family's big enough,
That's
and
a
I've
good
got enough
game.
kids that
Yeah.
can read that like we can actually all play apples to
Yeah.
apples now. Or
You play Cards Against Humanity.
we
with
also
your-
have like
with
the
your kids?
family version of what's the one with the picture? What's that called? Where you have the picture.
Oh,
and
meme. The meme
yeah.
thing.
What do you meme?
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
I could see Colby getting absolutely pissed that you didn't pick her card in apples. to
Listen,
apples.
Colby.
Is she
has
the
to
most
win.
competitive? She's the most
Everything.
competitive.
She's a quiet.
Do you
from
play
what I-
Settlers against her? Do you play
Huh?
Settlers at Catan? Have you told?
So
have
she's
you,
just learning how to play Settlers.
Oh, she's gonna be cutthroat.
So what's hilarious is our friends Scott and Sarah will come over pretty frequently, and we'll play games. And every once in a while, we'll let Colby or Reed play if we want to. But Reed's usually playing the Switch with all the little kids, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So all the boys want to be like read and they want to play the Switch with him, and he's showing them all that stuff. But Colby really likes playing games, and she probably kicks our butt like 60% of the time. Nice. And I'm very competitive. Sarah Hudson's super competitive. We're trying to win.
Yeah.
Like we're not like letting the 10-year-old win.
Yeah.
Right. But she does, and it's so annoying.
I want my family to be big on games, so that's something. Every Christmas we get more games.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing too.
So fun. You were talking about seeing how your kids think.
Yeah.
I took Rose. We had a day to Urban Air. If you guys have never been there,
Love Urban Air.
Amazing. So when you have 3 kids with you, you don't buy the ultimate pass.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have one kid, it's like,
yeah,
We're doing it all.
dude. She scared to death to put this harness on for like the rock climbing wall and stuff like that. She got almost all the way to the top and everything. We're driving home, and she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Rose, you can rock climb now." That like you literally did that. She's like, "Yeah, I'm self-taught." I'm like,
That's great.
What? Where did you hear that? She's like, it's like Moana self-taught herself sailing. I was like,
That's cool.
oh, wow.
And you know what? She probably wouldn't have done that if all the other kids were around.
No. Yeah, she would have
That's a
let
pretty
the
special
older
thing.
sister be. Dude.
Yeah.
And I.
Or just follow the
She
flow.
looked scared to death because I asked her 4 times. And then finally she's like, all right, let's go try it. She looked scared to death before the harness was on. Scared like the first time she tried to go on, didn't work. And then afterwards I'm like, you were really scared at first, right? She's like, no. Would not.
What a
admit it.
great memory.
Yeah, man, she's self-taught.
So we skipped the part about the jump, or we missed it, and we also need to come back to the play because I think that's the pinnacle of the movie.
Funny.
But the jump, there's so many neighborhood kids. Where are all their parents? I'm like, this is definitely Marcus Mangus's backyard. In the
It
neighborhood.
didn't seem odd to me at all.
They're
I've
looks
looked
like my
outside.
trampoline
I've looked outside and
most
seen his trampoline.
most evenings.
I've been at his house with like a couple other couples, and I'm like, there's no way we have all those kids out there. And sure enough, there's like 40 other houses representing kids back
It's
there.
crazy, man.
Yeah, there was a house growing up where that was normal scene for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
We have to like set specific boundaries. Like, no, you guys cannot all come inside and eat all of our snacks.
A
like,
jump during Christmas is fascinating. I guess
well,
that's more of a
it's
California
San Francisco,
thing.
so.
And for those listening that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's a bounce house.
Right.
Flip the tube.
Psycho.
Jump.
Jump.
Flip the
It was
tube.
so funny.
That's what they call it in the movie.
It was so funny that she was like terrified of the bounce.
Yeah.
And then like while she's doing all of this, by the way, they're looking through the photographs
Yes.
and it just
Yes.
looks like she's a lesbian. Like
Yeah.
it's the funniest.
No, the funniest part is how much fun he's having. They're basically feeding him. He's laughing, and it's like the tale of
When she
two
turns
and then
sides.
you
in
look and
asking
she's
for
saying,
help.
And she's like, no. And he's
Him-
like waving
him
her
waving.
and clapping.
Oh, he plays that so
Hey, baby.
well, so well. So it was her aunt.
This is where she says, "This is the thing I fear most," and he goes, "Jumps, 4-year-olds."
Dude, I will say, playing a game like Taboo, when people do that and they try to say super personal stuff or catchphrase or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
I get so mad at them.
They're driving.
I get so angry.
Everybody else is angry at Vince Vaughn at this part. Marcus is like, yes!
Yes,
100%.
Yes!
I am with him.
100%.
I am with him. He's like, you don't want to go conceptual. You want to go more literal. He's like, I accept your apology.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
On the drive home.
Yeah.
Here's what I
We've
thought
had
was-
this exact argument that multiple times. My wife and I.
Yeah.
Oh,
have had-
I stay away from anything game related with her specific
Like
strategy.
argument wise. Oh.
Yeah.
Don't
she has
manage
to ask
me. Don't
she
manage
has to
me.
ask me
Watching them,
what the strategy
watching
is
them
that she should use.
euchre bourbon and beer night is so fun. And then, but by about
Jessica's getting good at
an
euchre
hour
now.
and 20 minutes in, he was on. So it's in my basement. He was on the stationary bike, and she was on the Stairmaster, both eating pizza.
That's right. That sounds about right.
And dude, you know what? They've just owned it that we're not going to win euchre, but we're going to have the most fun of the night.
and then they shut down the party with karaoke.
They do. They will karaoke
That's
until
right.
or after the lights go out. It don't stop. Here's what's interesting to me: a Christmas movie with no snow.
Yeah, because it's California.
Yeah, but it's what I mean. Is the entire reason they picked it is because they needed a reason for the flight to get canceled?
The location?
Fog.
No, man. I mean, so we go to Florida. So Kelsey's family has for 30 plus years gone to Florida. And there's never, I mean, you go to Florida because it's 70s and 80s, and people in Florida celebrate with no snow. This is just
what's that
just
like?
wrong.
What's
I
it?
don't
Yeah,
understand.
does it feel weird?
At first it felt weird, and then I was like, "This is awesome."
Really?
Yeah, because it's
Do you
January
feel like
and I'm
people
getting a
that
tan.
are there and live there? Do you think they genuinely appreciate and get the Christmas
Everyone
season?
in Florida moved to Florida.
I'm more in the
Yes,
Kevin
they-
McAllister camp on this one.
You'd rather be in New
Okay?
York?
I want a place with snow.
Yeah,
I want to be somewhere with
I'm
snow.
okay with it snowing, but then stop.
Also, I watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2 every year for Christmas.
Is that on your top 10?
I don't know if it's on my top 10, but I'm going to watch it every Christmas.
That's so funny. I think this is like, that's what I'm saying. There's certain things you do during a certain time of year. Like there's way better movies that
Yeah.
you will not watch twice this year. But since it's Christmas and
Yes.
you're nostalgic, you'll watch a lesser movie
100%.
multiple times.
Well, also it's
Me
because
too.
like we're home with with kids and everything else.
you can justify it however you
Okay,
want.
fine. Well,
You're not
Home
watching
Alone,
Fight Club twice this year.
Home Alone's pretty darn good. I mean,
I haven't watched the
I
second
love
of any
being
of
in the
these.
mood, man. I
you
love
watch
being
the
in the
second
mood.
Home Alone.
I
That's
saw.
even better
I
than
think
the
that's
first
where
one.
Trump. They have. That's where Trump is in
Yeah.
it. I don't think I've seen that one.
The
You've
New
never
York when he goes to
seen
New
it?
York.
Is he stuck in a hotel?
He's
Well,
not. He's
he's-
there by choice.
I don't think I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're
Were
both
you not
great.
allowed to watch it
They're
as a
both
kid?
awesome.
I just don't. I think I watched it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. they're
I
good.
was not allowed to watch A Christmas Story because of the leg lamp.
Because of the leg lamp, or because of the language, or because mean-
Is the language bad?
it's not great.
Borderline.
Yeah.
Rem recommended Transformers to all of our families. By the way, we literally had to turn it off for family movie night at 5 minutes in.
Nice.
5 minutes in.
Yeah,
Why?
they're cursing within 5 minutes.
Bad
Multiple times.
Assatron. Bad Assatron. I thought that was funny.
It is interesting what you choose.
Which
as
curse
far
words
as-
are bad?
No, that and just like reasons why
So
your kids aren't going to watch a movie.
So I thought the movie, we watched it in theaters
Mm-hmm.
on date night, and I just thought the imagery, I was so wrapped up into the imagery of the lesson
Mm-hmm.
that I think I missed a couple of those things.
You think?
It's such a good movie though.
All right, you wanted to talk
And
about
I don't even know the story of Transformers.
You wanted to talk about the Mary and Joseph scene, and that I agree.
It's the
that-
best scene in the movie.
I agree that that's the best scene in the movie.
It's so funny. It hits home for me because if you look at Brad, Vince Vaughn's character, he doesn't want to do it, but if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it.
Dude, it is Marcus. If Marcus was in that situation,
it's
like,
not
no,
just-
I'm not doing it. I'm
Not
and
just
then-
Marcus and Jessica, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like
100%.
totally the two of us.
I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my feet.
Oh.
I gotta say my line. We're losing the audience.
Luckily, I memorized your lines too. 100%
Unfit
would be
mother.
Marcus.
Throwing the mom under the bus,
100%. Yeah.
and he doesn't even know he's doing
that
it.
baby.
What's okay? So here's is the swaddling cloth on purpose or not?
No, it's not
No.
on purpose. But when he realizes it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Forgive her.
Was that a
for
take?
she knows
Hold on.
not what she's
He has
done.
I looked at Kelsey and I was like, if you're gonna misquote, that's how you do it. That is a perfect misquote. Yeah.
I like
It's
how
a
he
very
gets in the
smart
car
misquote.
afterwards, and he's like, "Now I know how Celine Dion feels."
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's what I do too. So I do this thing when I go to movies, I feel like I want to be in it. So I feel like I'm in the movie. And when I get out of the movie, like if it was like Batman or stuff, I'm driving faster, like away from the bad guys. So I totally understand what he's doing when he's like, after his performance, he's like, all he wants to talk about is
For
his
sure.
line
For
on the
sure.
drive over.
It
That's
made me
so
think
funny.
about what you just said. I remember getting out of movies with all my friends. We get every Friday night from 5th grade.
What movies did you guys see? That's the
Did
question.
you sneak into
because,
bad movies?
No, PG
Because
13.
you've seen only like 50% of the movies that we've
That's
done on this
true.
podcast.
PG every Friday. Well, I would say for 60% of running time on screen, I was making out with a girl for sure. Fifth grade
In the theater.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
In the theater.
But you remember...
I've never. Well,
But
I mean,
don't you remember
I'm
saying
a
his
different
best
person.
friend got kicked out of a theater and is never
Well,
allowed
it's
to
not
return?
my, there is a kid who did get kicked out of a theater forever. He's not allowed there ever again. Yes.
And that was before they had couches in the front row.
Even know.
So 5th grade to 8th grade, yeah, every Friday. But when you saw a great movie with all your friends walking out, it's all you could talk about.
Anchorman. That was Anchorman.
Oh, dude,
you went back and saw it 20
Dodgeball.
times.
Dude, Where's My
Dodgeball,
Car
yeah.
was a big one for us. That was
Sweet.
7th grade.
What's
Yeah.
mine say?
That was a great one.
I bet you saw The Matrix. I bet you saw those.
I bet Matrix was that was R. Matrix was rated R, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely R.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
we didn't
I was trying to think about middle school.
yeah.
What would come out in middle school that you would have seen?
Yeah. Lots of
Like Fast and Furious.
lots of kissing.
No, he doesn't like
probably.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Bought plenty. Nerds Rope.
Apparently it doesn't matter if you liked it or
That's
not. 'Cause
true.
He was just
We're going to the
making out with-
movies.
Yeah.
Making out.
And then we'd go to Burger King afterwards and completely just violate that place. Like nobody bought anything. There were kids running around everywhere throwing stuff. Is
Do you ever dine and ditch?
no, never done that before.
Okay.
I think. By the way, I think it's dine and dash. Dine and dash.
Whatever. Same thing.
I would know.
I would know.
I would know.
Apparently not, because I'm the only one here who's done it.
Oh wow.
Felt
Done
really
on
bad.
purpose?
accident before.
I did it knowing that
Marcus
I
does
was,
it at a CVS on a Tuesday.
That's true. I did it knowing that I was leaving people that I didn't
Your
like.
bill?
My bill, yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah.
It was Steak and Shake, and I felt really bad about it for weeks. And I have OCD, so it's always stuck.
Did
with
I
me.
tell my story to you guys or on the podcast about
Tell it again, bro.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Steak and Shake with a girl I'm going out with on a date for the first time in college?
Oh, and you yeah.
And I forgot my wallet, and we're at the end of the meal, and I'm like run out to my car and I'm writing her a check for our Steak and Shake
wrote her
meal.
a check.
Yeah. And the reason that came up is because of the Wiggy story you talked about at my old apartment where I tore you out of my bed when I got home.
Yes.
So we saw that girl that night.
That's so
Yeah, it was
funny.
great. It was great.
Okay, this part's worth talking about because she goes. They have this fight. They break up.
Oh, his hair
They're-
is
they- I don't know if
terrible.
they
I did
break-
His
not-
hair is horrible.
That's
Look,
a
it's
hidden
that
gem. That's
one little
terrible.
strand right there.
What are you doing, John?
Wow. I don't know if we call it a breakup or what. But
By the way, hold on real quick. These Reese Witherspoon bangs were Riley's bangs when she was in Rem's wedding.
True.
Game over.
well,
Yeah, game over.
Did she have bangs in
you're
your
a big
wedding?
bangs guy, huh?
Apparently, it was game
Probably.
over.
I don't think
Doesn't
she
remember
does.
much sense.
Probably
I don't think she does.
not.
Anyway,
We're definitely going to see a side-by-side post on
Hey,
Instagram
I
this
Rem,
just
week.
what
think
color are your wife's eyes?
Brown.
All right, good.
I just think it's great that they both go to their dads, right? And so I just think that that's cool. I want to be that dad that can kind of speak into their life, and
Yeah.
they speak into their lives in completely different ways.
That's cool.
But what I think is neat is that they both go to their dads, and you know, I mean, that's how it is with me for sure. Is that like if it's a big thing,
You can come to me.
No, but
I'm
it's
for
it's
sure talking to
fitting
my dad.
because Kate's dad now has a life that his ex-wife is there with her new boyfriend, and everybody's his girlfriends are. It's a family, and he's the one who's kind of came to grips with I messed up in the past, and he's totally having this resurrection of his life. Whereas,
well, and he not only that, but I think it's even bigger is that like he's seeing what she's doing. He's not necessarily upset with her, but he's hoping for something better for her.
Whereas Brad's dad is like, heck yeah, never get married. You listen to me, like, all right, like you're like, and he's the most
It's
unhappy.
always the one
character.
that's most like you that you fight with the most, and that's like what
I think that's
changes his
probably,
mind.
yeah. I don't want to be like him when
Yeah.
I grow up.
Yeah, it probably hit him at. It may have hit him in that moment, but he
But he
went in
still
out of
went in and had the
respect.
beer and
Yeah.
loved on his dad.
Yeah,
It's really sad too because you kind of like Robert Duvall's character for the first time has a soft side, loves his son, but the reasons are all off.
All off.
And so you want to enjoy that moment for them because it's bonding, but then you're kind of like it's tainted by the fact that it's over something that
as
shouldn't
long
be.
as the kid in the situation knows it's not activity to admire, I think it can still be like salvaged as a good moment.
maybe
I think so. I think so.
Maybe.
I think so. Anything else we thought about, learned? Anything else from the movie?
One big one here. I think you know because it's a movie, but as soon as they start talking about having kids or and stuff like that, it's like, oh, but we're not going to do this right now or anything. We're not going to get married. We're not going to do this. It's like, that it's over.
Yeah,
it is
especially
over.
For the woman,
and that is 100% my experience.
Yeah,
and then like I'll be talking to people and they'll tell me, because people will talk to me about kids, right? And if they don't have any kids, or even if they have kids and they might be thinking about others, you guys probably have similar stuff. But as soon as they start talking to me about it, like, yeah, we're thinking about it. I'm like, you're not thinking about it. Like you're already at least halfway there. You might even be pregnant.
You're either either trying or you're not trying.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Not trying.
You're not trying, but you're not.
Listen,
not
if there's
trying.
any podcast that knows at least this, it's the one that has 15 kids between 3 men.
15 kids.
Did you guys have a dog in Evansville?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
stupid radar
So
dog
but before
that attacked
Reed, before
everyone.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Speaking of
by the way-
MASH fan, by the way, I said I was a big MASH fan, biggest millennial.
Yeah.
Our dog was literally named after a MASH character.
Radar?
Boom.
One of our friends, when he was first getting married, said, "Yeah, I never want to have children." The second they got a dog, I went, "Yeah,
They're gonna have a kid.
they're gonna have kids." Yep. And
Why?
they're gonna have
Why?
kids.
Because they wanted something more.
I
know
just,
dog people that don't want kids.
but I don't know. It just hit me with him. It was like, yeah, you're having.
The reason he got a dog.
Yeah,
Is,
I don't. Something.
not gonna-
It was like a.
it's
It
not
was
gonna do what you want,
preparation.
brew.
It was practice.
Is this our friends in
I
Detroit?
get very frustrated with people who call themselves like dog dads or dog moms and
Fur
stuff
babies.
like that. I'm just like,
They don't know.
Come
They
on.
don't know.
come on.
Hey, in some of those cases, they can't have kids.
I understand that.
They just want to They want to be a part of the conversation. Let's not make them feel bad.
Listen,
Period.
it's not
Period.
even close to the
W.
same.
Period. I got a lot of
Not
quotes.
even
We're running
close.
out of time.
I'm ready for quotes, bro.
We can do quotes.
Let's rock and roll. But anyway, congrats on getting married. That seems like a really cool thing. To each their own.
Oh, last thing about the babies. This is funny. I put this down. I actually kind of like going to the hospital when we have the babies. It's kind of like a little mini vacation.
Oh,
I don't know if you
100%.
guys feel the same way. But you're just there with your wife and everybody's taken care of. It's like you have butlers.
For me, it's all
awesome.
about can you get the proper food into the room. If
Dude,
you've got the
well,
right
that's
food
easy.
coming in.
And
That's not-
I
I've gotten,
spent $80 on DoorDash for one meal. it's not easy.
Why aren't you
I've
running
gotten-
out and going and getting it?
I've gotten feedback
I did that a couple
I'm
times.
the exception here, but I'm telling you, at Community North, I had salmon and vegetables.
Their food, their actual food.
I don't know. Everybody else is telling me I'm crazy that is actually there, so maybe I'm wrong. I have eaten amazing meals there.
I
You're
had
talking
no
about the
problem with their
hospital
food.
food.
Yes,
I
the
didn't. I
hospital
didn't.
food.
I didn't dislike their food.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
good, so good.
Yeah, dude, that's funny. Mock me for being educated.
Real quick point on Vince Vaughn's ability, even in this scene where they're talking about marriage, to end conversations without ending conversations, and he keeps like going back and forth, hedging his bet on everything.
Yeah.
Is so good. It makes me think of our friend from New Jersey, John Fiacco. They are so alike in that way.
Quick witty.
Oh, so good.
So they create, and they're in the car. I got to set this one up. They create a safe word if they want to leave, and he really doesn't want to go in even. And he goes, and going out would be, and she goes, mistletoe. He goes, done. Let's get out of here.
Well, you can't really smell families without lies. Try it. I thought that was great.
Yep. I already said this one. That's too much when he falls off the house. Okay, this one's so good. I'll just let the audience figure out where this line is said, but I thought it was so funny. He goes, "Hey, listen and look at me. You're a better kisser for it."
Yeah.
You don't say my name used to be Butthole, now it's Bob. You just say my name's
is
Bob.
Do I
That's
have
very-
a volunteer or do I still need a volunteer? Hallelujah. Joy
That
to the
sounds
world.
like something any one of the three of us would say, by the way,
From stage.
That's Merry Christmas in Burmese.
Way Sticky Dude would not recommend that.
I'm not going to ace this quote. I wrote it down as fast as I could. My childhood was just like Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
Except I didn't have some big soft black man to share my struggles with.
Soft spoken.
Yeah.
Soft spoken. That's a really good one.
There was a lot of lines that I would laugh, and then I would pick up my phone to write it down, and Kelsey would say, "Do not write that down."
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. When he gets to hurting inside and can't use his words, he takes to streaking.
You nailed that really well.
Thank you.
We're named after the cities in which we were conceived.
You must be Orlando's. Flip the tube. What? Flip the tube.
Okay, so this is when
They're playing
this is when
You and me
Kate's-
dry humping on the beach.
Screensaver.
This is when Kate's sister.
Yes, baby. This
She-
is so
she-
easy.
She's asked, what's your gift for Christmas? And she's, I'm going to give myself a gift, pregnancy. I know that comes with challenges like getting fat and people staring at you funny when you try to sneak a cig. I thought she actually was a very great character.
She
That
was.
was
Good job.
funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
It's interesting. So here's a fun fact. She was the original Glinda in
Yeah.
Wicked,
Yeah.
and Wicked is coming out this about the time that this will air.
No, wait, it's already
It's already out?
It's already out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like out and gaining momentum.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
you
it's
would
going to
expect
be
it to.
pop. It'll probably be. It might be the top grossing film this year.
Really?
I would bet.
And correct me if
What's
I'm
up
wrong.
there?
I don't really know the answer.
We
I'm
should
just
find
saying,
this out
I
since
bet
we're
that
film
I
critics.
bet that it'll be in the top 5.
Wicked is the witch's viewpoint of Wizard of Oz.
No, it's just a story behind the witches.
Got it. Okay. Originally Broadway is
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Well, actually, it was a book, and then they
Broadway
made
story.
it into a Broadway musical. Oh shoot! I had another one.
So,
I had another one. Of
here,
those.
I've got the-
I
I-
helped you come up. I helped you come up with this when you came home. When you came home drunk after from the bar on last Thursday night.
Alibi.
But he's eating the whole time. Alibi. He's talking to her after looking at the pictures of her when she's younger. My favorites are the ones when you were little because you were so big it looks like you were supposed to be a twin and you ate your twin.
It's cool. You absorb their powers. You're more mighty for it.
Haircuts don't lie.
We keep going back to that one scene. That's true.
Okay, they're just about to get on stage, and for their portrayal of Mary and Joseph, and he looks at her and goes, "You just got to find your truth. I'm gonna blow the roof off this."
Woman, do your job and swaddle that baby.
It's so great when he gets off stage and he puts his hand on her head and like shakes it, and they're singing Silent Night, and he's got his arms around the entire crowd. He's like, Silent Night.
Top grossing so far this year, by the way. I'll do the top.
Can you do it
top
into the
3.
mic?
Top 3. Despicable Me 4, just under $1 billion worldwide.
Wow.
Unreal.
That's so crazy.
Wow.
You got momentum. You just got to keep. Keep making them until you don't. Deadpool and Wolverine 1.3.
Oh yeah, that makes
1.3.
sense.
This is above it. Are we going down?
1.3 billion total.
Okay.
Total is number 2. And then number 1, Inside Out at 1.7
Inside Out 2.
billion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So all kids movies.
Well, no.
You had me.
No, I don't think so,
You had
guys.
me
I
for
saw
a
that. I
second.
saw Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, well, I wouldn't, and the FAA wouldn't want me to either. I have definitely gotten myself in trouble during arguments for stuff like this. When my wife is trying to make a point and she says something, but that's not really what she means.
Yeah.
And then I correct her
Yeah,
in
not the
the
time.
argument. Oh my gosh.
Not the time.
Trent Booth taught me that all of us men have a drop-down menu in our heads in those moments. And you see it and you go, don't click that one. Do not click. And then you click it. I never had a sexual thought about your mom until I was 30.
And always great to see you, big guy. Can I get your gas money? I'd really like to get your gas money.
I don't want you to think of me as your dad. You already have one of those. I just want to think of me as a friend. You were my friend. You were my best friend.
I know I said it earlier, but man, I lost it. Flip the tube.
Flip the tube.
Flip the tube.
John Grisham.
Yeah. Oh yeah, John.
Kelsey looks at me.
The one.
Kelsey does this every year. She laughs at that so hard. She's like, I can't, because she recently started reading Grisham.
Recently?
Last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So every year that line, I anticipate it coming because I think it's hilarious. And she
Yeah.
looks at me. She's like, no way. She's like, is he hot?
So Riley and I argued. We rewound. I was right. I was writing on the quote.
I was
What
right.
can I write? What can I wear to? I said motocross. It was supercross.
Miniskirt.
And I'm writing it down. She goes, oh yeah. What can I wear to CrossFit? And I was like,
What?
no, that's not. That's not the
That
quote.
would be a very different
Miniskirt.
reason.
Sorry, babe.
CrossFit. Interesting. Also, they're like little walking tax shelters. That one hits home.
Kids.
Yeah, that hits home
Dude.
for sure.
By the way, the year of the twins.
nice.
Gangster. Gangster. I'm out of quotes. What's got any more quotes?
Unless there's a playoff game on or something. He's talking about. He's like, and we'll talk about anything. We'll bring these things up, and unless there's like a playoff game on or something.
Hey, he's got to start earlier, letting people know that that's important.
He must not live in Indianapolis. Struggling
Jeez.
boys.
Google
We're
me.
struggling.
You might want to look me up sometime, Barbara.
Oh, that was so funny.
Well, they're not going to know what it is, so let me go ahead and say it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Google me.
Hidden gems?
I got some.
Yeah. I have one movie magic. When he says their time is up, Kate and Brad during the game, it cuts away to the whole group, and the freaking timer is full.
Yeah.
Mm.
A shame.
Our time. He actually says
Mm.
our time is up, and it actually is full.
Yep, it is full. It is
Yeah.
full. Glass full.
Pastor Phil calls Brad by name to participate in the nativity play without having been introduced, which I always thought was just like movie magic, but it's actually a deleted scene shows the introduction, but in the final cut it's not in there. So he would know Brad
Well,
when
that's
he calls him
interesting.
on
I
stage.
just always assumed that they talked about him.
They talked about him. He's sitting there. Yeah.
How about Brett's favorite character? She's super pregnant, right? Like probably at least 7 or 8 months pregnant. Did you guys catch how old the baby is? 9 months.
9 months. Oh, dude, that makes it so much fun.
I don't know about you guys, but like it's not that fast. It doesn't happen that soon.
Well, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
actually, technically,
Well,
what's
she's
the
not-
minimum amount of time you could get pregnant after a
It's like
pregnancy?
it's like 3 weeks.
really fast.
It's like
3
3
weeks?
weeks, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, in practicality, not so much.
So the film started production during the 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike, which meant there could be no changes to the made to the script during the time of filming. So that probably added to Reese Witherspoon's annoying, she's got to stick to her line. She's not going to ad-lib, but Vince Vaughn, that's how he does movies, so it probably added to the tension on that.
So when you say nothing could change, meaning he
The
could,
writers aren't writing, so unless they're particularly like writing their own lines, they're
but
not gonna
he could
change.
riff and that would be fine.
Right, which he
Got it.
did.
Got it. Yep.
Yep. I got one more fun fact before we get out of here.
Hit us.
So when Brad is introduced to Jim, the guy playing the video game, the sounds that you can hear coming from the movie come from Donkey Kong. And Jim, played by Steve Wiebe, I think is how you name, was the subject of the director's documentary King of Kong, The Fistful of Quarters, which is one of my favorite
killer
documentaries of all time. I actually put it, so I sent you guys, we keep talking about this. This is coming out on Patreon, our top 9. All right? Get Patreon.
That's one of your top 9 documentaries?
That's one of my top 9 documentaries.
Dude, I'll have a killer documentary list, I think.
Yeah. So that's actually the guy who plays it.
Would you count 30 for 30s in documentary category?
Probably. I mean, they're especially the ones
Unless
that are a
we
little
had
longer.
our own 30 for 30 category. it
Sure.
would be, okay.
Which
'Cause
ones? Which is at the? I have 2 at the top of my 30 for 30s.
Oh,
What's
Tale of
yours?
Two Escobars is very high on mine. Very high on mine. And I would need more time on the rest.
I would have to think about
Do you
that.
have any of them? Any of them?
I've watched every single 30
I
for
Hate
30.
Christian Leitner is
Ooh,
one
that's
of
good.
my top 2.
Mhm.
And Fantastic Lies.
Fantastic Lies is really good.
Fantastic Lies, the Duke Lacrosse team.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so good.
One more hidden gem that I had was just sleeping either at your parents' or your in-laws' house. So like
The
the
cot.
grandpa is always sleeping, the guy that plays the video games is sleeping half the time.
Yeah.
You know, and man, I fall asleep all the time if I'm at my in-laws' house or my parents' house. And I think I realized is because I know that there's someone else to take care of
your
kids.
kids. Yep.
And so I just relax when I'm sitting down and I'm just like out.
For the
I'm
first time
done.
in weeks.
Yeah, I'm just done.
Yep.
So I love that.
It's so funny that can hit us, but then it's time to go to bed and
Still go to bed?
can't fall asleep.
Oh.
I don't really. I rarely have that problem.
Oh man,
You can't go to sleep? You go to sleep
there's
early.
there's nights that
And you
I
get up
try
early.
sometimes. Well, Riley's got the TV on. I don't ever want to be like, hey, turn it down. 'Cause
What? Why?
I don't.
Hey, get some headphones. Put on your phone. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, something.
We took the TV
You know-
out of our room. I like it.
There was a
probably smart.
long period of time where we didn't have TV in our room, but there are TVs with Bluetooth you can literally connect to.
That's interesting.
That's
Yeah,
a
so
good
that'd be-
idea.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, rating time. I am officially starting decimals. I'll kick us off.
Yes, they've all made it to realize that I'm
Marcus
correct.
was a trailblazer. Yep, Marcus trailblazer. 7.8.
8.1.
7.4.
Yeah, I think we'd all
9.9.
agree we're not expecting this to win any awards, but
No.
we love watching it.
100%.
This is a great example of a movie. I love watching it, but I will agree it's not a perfect movie, not a great
No.
movie, but love watching it. What do we got next? We got Die Hard, followed by It's a Wonderful Life, and we are actually. Marcus, you recommended our book for January. We're not going to
no,
announce it
well-
right this second, but
I've never read it before.
Oh, nice.
This was suggested to us.
Sorry. You were recommending our pick. I guess you were speaking about our pick.
Yeah.
We're gonna finalize our first 3 months of the year schedule. We'll announce some of those for January here coming up.
Yeah.
But,
Did
yeah.
you say what's next? Oh, Die Hard.
Die Hard, yes, Die Hard. One of the best Christmas movies of all time.
I think that
probably.
should definitely be a poll for our fans. Is it a Christmas movie?
Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
And then wrapping it up with It's a Wonderful Life, which I believe It's a Wonderful Life comes out on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Which we all know is a great day for podcasts because everyone listens to podcasts on Christmas
Got
Day.
a lot of driving at 4
People
Christmases.
are going to drive.
Yeah.
4 Christmases.
Have you ever flown on Christmas?
No.
It's awesome.
I haven't ever flown.
It's
on
awesome?
Christmas. I bet
Awesome.
people are excited.
It's awesome. Everyone's excited on the plane to get to where
Oh,
they're going.
that's cool.
Nobody's there. Like you can drive
Is it?
fast
It's
as you
it's
want.
a very. Is it a busy airport day?
And even the people who are working are typically like in good spirits because it's not as crazy and people are very generous to them. So
Yeah.
it's like an odd day. Now I'm not saying like everyone wants to work on Christmas.
Sure.
They probably don't, but it's actually pretty. I mean, everyone's in a pretty good mood.
Brett, have you seen Die Hard?
Yeah.
Okay.
With
Oh,
Rem's
there's a
dad.
story behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll share it.
Exciting.
Yeah. Tammy was very excited.
Yeah.
All right.
Die Hard next time.